You're listening to the You've Been Warned show with Jake, J-Stacks Lawson, and Josh, Drop Tech Setterfield. We talk about what we want to talk about. If you're easily offended, please don't email us.
I mean, seriously, though, don't.
I mean, who would actually read that email? I mean, I guess you would probably be the one, like, the way that this normally goes, things that happen. You would definitely text me and be like, yo, fuck, read that email. Read that email that we just got. You won't believe it. It'll be amazing.
I'll be like, they sent us a strongly worded email, and you haven't looked at your email in 6 months. So if you could just check that now.
I feel like I am definitely a subscriber to like the 4-digit email club, and what I mean by that is that my email inbox always has 4 digits worth of emails. Like it is always 1,000 plus. Like there's a comma in my inbox at all times, and I don't know that I'm proud of that. No, but it's just the truth.
I'm not this conversation wasn't even supposed to go this way, so I just
well, I mean, hey, it's just kind of lets you know what people are in tune for. I mean, Jake, what are they in tune for? What is this? What are we doing?
First of all, the thing that they should all know, since we're talking about this, is that you do not check your email. That's that's the.
I don't know what makes you say that.
That's the main thing. That's what we're trying to get across here. I did all of this with you, just so that I could have an intervention. So in like 30 seconds, your mom, cue her. We'll have her on the stream as well, and Ashley,
hey,
she didn't tell you.
She might pop in here actually.
Ashley will pop in, and you just don't know. So we're here to help you.
I'm glad to have the support. Well, guys, the other reason that we are here is you guys are officially tuning into the very first episode of the You've Been Warned show with Jake Lawson, aka J-Stacks, and myself, Drop Tech. And yeah, man. So episode number 1, what are we trying to chit chat about, man? What are we trying to accomplish in this first episode, Jake?
Well, first of all, Skylar Hess is on, so somebody get her parents and tell her to get on. And you are not supposed to be on here. I already told your mother. This is not for children. Rated. Yes.
Yeah, we need a mature rated icon on there. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and cue that up real quick.
The first thing we do, and the first person that comments is Skylar Hess, and I'm like, well, now I don't want to talk about anything now. Skylar's like 12. It's past your bedtime. Robbie, where's Robbie at?
It is past your bedtime.
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, seriously, we're going to talk about a lot of different things. I mean, as you can see on the screen, like I want to talk a little bit. I mean, you can't get around not talking about what's going on right now with COVID-19. I mean, so I think we should probably start with that. For whatever reason, you have put up government footages of UFOs. So I'm in
this stuff, bro.
No, this is new. This is all. So I'm interested. Bro. I'm interested in, but I want to tell you that I'm fully versed in this. Although I'm interested to hear what you say, because I've been watching some crazy stuff.
Man. You gotta watch them. We're gonna have to be able. We'll get it set up to where we can watch it on the podcast and everybody can see it with you, and it'll probably be a lot of our viewers' first time. So it'll be fantastic. But there is I gotta leave you guys on a little bit of a cliffhanger, right? There is officially government release footage of UFOs, unidentified flying objects, that is from like a decade ago. That like we've always had this footage, and it got leaked forever ago, and then a lot of people thought it was fake and a hoax, and then there's a chunk of people who believed in it, and now it has officially been released by the government, and they have officially come out and said, yeah, we don't know what the fuck it is. Like, we have no idea, never have, and yeah, it is what it is. We're still stuck not knowing.
Does this have anything to do with them storming Area 51? I mean, is this why we had the information? By the way, if you don't remember the ladies that stormed Area 51, you should go on YouTube and look, because they're all dressed in like Green Man uniforms, like full body green, and then they're wearing their clothes on the outside of it, and it's great. But I have not seen the footage, so it would have been helpful.
Okay.
If we would have cued the footage. But I didn't.
Well, so you know what?
I didn't even think we were going to talk about that right now. I mean, we can.
No, let's go on to something else while we get this queued up. It'll be good. It'll be good for the background.
I want to talk about LSD and the psychedelics. I mean, there's so many things that are going on right now about this, so I want to get into that as well. And then, of course, I would just want to talk about what's going on with stupid people during this COVID-19. I mean, I'm trying to be real here, because a lot of them are just stupid, and I want to just let them know. And I mean, there's probably, of all the 5 people that are listening right now, this might apply to one of you. So I apologize.
I mean, what's the dumbest thing you've seen or are feeling some type of way about in regards to COVID-19?
Well, first of all, I just want to say that the thing that started it all is that when we first started hearing about this, people were saying that it was a joke, right? So, like, that was the biggest nonsense that I had ever heard of. Like, as soon as we started hearing it, I didn't go out. I was on the other side. I didn't leave the house. I didn't do anything crazy. Like, I was like, this is the real deal. You know, I could see it coming. But people were like, this is fake. This is fake, right? Like, and then people start dropping knowledge and say there's more people that have died from the flu. And I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, man, like, the flu has been around a long time. Of course, over the years, people are going to die, and that data is going to be much larger than this. COVID-19 is just something that just happened. Like, I didn't understand. So that was the first stupid moment that I realized, like, we're in for more stupid stuff. Oh. You know what I mean? Like, we are in, and still to this day, there's stupid things going on. I just don't get it.
Well, so like at the beginning, I was more on the skeptic side. So it sounds like we had like opposing like initial responses to this, because to me, like I guess I'll say that I never thought that it was a hoax or anything like that. But what I felt like I know the virus is real. Obviously, it's real, and obviously it's dangerous and can have a large impact on the human species. Like, let's just lay that's my official stance on the virus part of it. However, to me, it was very obvious to see that the government is using it to to overhype it so that they can use it to accomplish their agenda. We can debate to the end of the world about what their agenda might be, but I feel like we're just not looking at the whole picture if we think that they're not figuring out how to spin this into what they need it to be to get what they need. Yeah. Now, I don't know any other specifics. I try not to get too lost in that train of thought, because I feel like it can lead to some dark places. But I don't know, man. I've seen people respond very differently, being that my job has me in a place where I'm dealing with the public in masses, and I get to see all sides of both extremes within a 5-minute time span of each other. It's crazy, because there's some people that will literally like walk up and like still try to fist bump you or like shake your hand or like stand right next to you with no gloves, no face mask, no nothing. And it feels very violating, because it's like, bro, like, even if you don't believe, like, still have enough respect for me to just assume that I'm still trying to fucking follow the guidelines and not be in my face. Yeah. And then there's other people who will, kick and scream if you're not wearing the face and gloves. So, anyways.
I mean, the funny thing about what you're saying though is, and I agree with you. I'm not saying that I disagree with you. And frankly, I had the Best Buy experience today because I had to pick up a few things. And so we've had really good experience with, there's a, I'm sure you heard of it, Texas Roadhouse. It's like right down the street. And so obviously you want to support local businesses. And when you go out and you get food from them, they have made it the most easiest process in the world. You place the order online, you drive there, they have a line going in. with cars, and they have somebody there saying, okay, what's your last name? Oh, they call it inside. Boom, they park you in a spot, and then they tell the person, "Hey, look, here's their order. It's in the 36th spot." And that's kind of how Best Buy was today, right? Like, I went there, they made me park, did a similar thing, and I get it, right? Like, I think that by far is the best way to continue to get people to use your business. But I've been to first of all, the grocery store. Can we just talk about the grocery store for a minute? I mean, seriously.
To me, that's been the craziest part about all of this, is that they're so quick to come in and say, and like want to shut somebody down or say that you can't be together, this, that, and the third. Meanwhile, all the grocery stores are still packed shoulder to shoulder, regardless. I'm not going to say all. That's not fair to make a blatant statement, but sure. I think that it's probably accurate to say that it's not rare to see instances of people still being shoulder to shoulder in the grocery stores. It's defeating the purpose of all the other businesses being down.
That's where everybody's at, though. I mean, like, every state has been on lockdown for at least, I'd say, 2 months, maybe now. A month, let's just say a month. Every state probably. So the problem is that
a month.
Right? Like, but nobody listens. So like, the funniest. So I'm just trying to trail back to what you were saying earlier. Like, so I'm in the grocery store. I'm checking out. I won't say which store this is, but it's where everybody goes that's misdressed. So I'm in the store. I'm in the store, right? And so I'm going up to pay to the register, and the lady behind the register, she yells at me, and she says, "You have to get back. You have to be within 6 feet of the person who is in front of you." And so it just happened to be an older gentleman, and I'm like, all right. I was kind of annoyed by it, and so eventually after the guy left, I asked her, like, can I move up now to pay for my stuff, you know? And she says, yeah. I mean, she wasn't very happy, you know. She says, yeah. And I said, but can I ask you a question? And she says, yeah. And I said, you don't want me to be 6 feet from the guy that's in front of me, but now you and I are like less than a foot apart from each other.
There it is.
So that's why I'm confused. Like, she scolded me like I was a petulant child. And I felt that way when I got up there, but I'm thinking to myself, we're a foot from each other, and at this point everybody didn't have masks on. So you're a foot now from me. You're about to touch all of my things on the conveyor belt, and then put them into a bag, which I'm now going to touch. And she yelled at me. These are the stupid things that I'm talking about. Like, I don't understand it. Like, if you're going to follow the rules, which I would advise, then follow them to the T. Just don't say, like, some of these are okay, but some of these you don't have to use. You know what I mean?
Just dismiss the ones. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's probably been the part that's been most challenging, because, like, obviously I'm trying to keep a safe environment for my employees and the customers and all this stuff that needs to happen. But there are so many instances where you can go back and you can break things down to how you just did, where there's still a massive flaw in the way that we still want to do business. Like, the short of it is that you cannot be open for business without mitigating the risks. And that's the really hard part.
Yeah, so, I like what they're doing, though. I mean, people are now, you know, they're counting people in line, you know, like monitoring the people that go in there. So I'm like, I get that part of it, and I'm appreciative of it, but I just don't think we're over it yet. So, and my concern is so our governor, Larry Hogan, had made an announcement today, and he's already started to talk about, you know, our state going into phase 1, meaning that there's going to be certain businesses that are going to be allowed to be open. You know, so like the hairdressers, like some of these other places with, you know, like obviously there's going to be some rules, but they're allowed to be open. And I don't know how I feel about that, because I honestly don't think we're there yet. You know, like I said in the beginning, I was on the way other side. I was like, oh, this is the real deal. So now I'm not so sure. Like, I'm not so sure that we should be going into phase 1.
Well, so like, let me ask you this: like, what do you feel like needs to be different between now and when you feel like it would be acceptable for phase one? Like, what's missing?
I mean, I honestly I don't know because I'm not. First of all, I'm not a scientist, so I don't understand.
Oh, really?
the whole-
I definitely was getting
mean,
the strong scientist vibe from you.
I mean,
all
I
night.
I did stay at a Holiday Inn once, so there's that. Oh God.
You're funny, sir. You're funny.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know is the honest answer. But what I do know is that we have to continue to, like I went out. I was out when I went to Best Buy. Like I didn't want to go to Best Buy today. Like I wanted to stay home. I don't want to pick anything up. But I went out today, and as I'm leaving, I've never seen so many kids outside at one time playing in an area. I mean, there were so many of them, and they were like 6 inches from each other, all of them. There was like 10 of them. And so I'm thinking to myself, like, but don't these people understand? Like, this is not how we should still be behaving. You know, like, because people are fed up, right? So let's talk about that. So the beach day in California, I mean, everybody saw this. It was on the news. I mean, everybody decided in California, they're like, fuck it. I don't care anymore. I don't want to be stuck in the house. I'm going out. You know what I mean?
And that's crazy. That's just ludicrous that's the response.
This is my response, honestly.
You're about to get Jake jacked. Jake jacked. Rant in 3, 2, 1.
I mean, look, first of all, just stay the fuck home. I understand everybody is tired of being in the house. I'm tired of takeout. I'm tired of not being able to go where I want to go. We fucking get it. But stay the fuck home. There's, I mean, tens of thousands of people on the beach. Tens of thousands just because they were bored. I don't know, man. I don't get it. I'm just follow the rules, please. It's just strange for me because I'm not known to follow rules, but I'm just in this instance.
but at this time, in this moment,
this time it's good. There's other times that it's bad. You know what I mean?
What do you feel like was the most difficult rule you've ever broken?
That's
we could circle back to that one. We could circle back to that one.
That's a terrible.
I feel like that could lead us. I feel like that could lead us to a pretty funny place, though.
No, it probably could. It could lead me in jail, probably. So that's.
Let's please any topic of conversation except for that one.
My luck, the 6 people watching, one of them is Maryland State Police. So if we go down that road, there's a good chance I'm getting arrested, and I'd prefer not to do that. But thank you for my well-being.
You know what people don't have to be arrested for is psychedelics in Colorado.
Oh my God!
Isn't this a crazy? This is like So do you feel like that this is a step where we are making forward progress to something that should be a common goal for the general society, the decriminalization of these sorts of drugs? Or are you just kind of like whatever happens, or like what's your stance on that? I feel like it's a very good thing that's happening for us to be decriminalizing these drugs. I feel like there's a lot of non-violent offenders that are in jail that are being incarcerated for something that doesn't actually pertain to the character of that human being and their how they would perform if they were not in prison. And then the other part of it is it costs our taxpayers a shit ton of money to house all these people who are incarcerated for non-violent crimes. My stance is that it's a fantastic thing that's happening, and that's not the only reason why. But I just don't want to go on that big long rant. But do you feel like it's a good thing or what?
Yeah, I mean, I think most people will probably be surprised at my answer, but I do think it's a good thing. It's Like, it's funny because it depends on who you're talking to, right? Like my wife, she's never smoked before, she's never done drugs before, so like she never had that part of her life, so like she don't get it. So I was opposite, I was opposite. I did drugs when I was younger, and I'm not proud.
You did hood rat things with your hood rat friends?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not proud of it. But the way that we looked at things back then and the way that we're looking at things now, I think, like, obviously, I'm an adult now, but I'm thinking to myself, there are more healing properties, like, yeah, you're talking about psychedelics, but I mean, even with marijuana and flower and CBD and THC, like, there are so many things that it can do to help people now, that people didn't realize. Maybe they did, but it wasn't public. But I try to explain to my wife now. I say to her, like, it's mostly, think about when alcohol was illegal during Prohibition.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like alcohol. So, and then now it's legal. You can drink it anywhere. And now we start seeing.
Not only is it legal, but during a time of pure crisis and a global pandemic, the liquor stores got declared an essential business.
Yeah, tell me how that happened.
When they once used to be fucking illegal for you to consume alcohol. So, just wanted to insert that. Continue.
So, thank you for that. This is, that was, you did, like, you added a lot there to the story that I was telling.
Appreciate it. Thanks. That's what I'm here for.
I mean, it was really, but I honestly, I have to tell you though, I totally forgot what I was saying. No, but my point is that, but now we're starting to see, like, where marijuana, and I'm just saying, like, marijuana, okay? Obviously, we started seeing everything's been decriminalized, like, it's illegal in certain states. Like, people are outside, like, where they would smoke a cigarette, and they're smoking joints in Vegas. So, like, things are so different. I feel like we're starting to see where, like, all of this stuff is more acceptable now. And now you're starting to see where in Denver already they've decriminalized magic mushrooms. So, like, this has got to be a hard one for people, over... I don't know, like older people now that came up through the 60s and the 70s when psychedelic drugs were, at the height, but like they're starting to realize that now these psychoactive, things have healing properties as well. So it's like, what do you do? Like I suffer from anxiety, so they're saying if I microdose that's supposed to help with my anxiety. Like I don't know. Like I don't know if that's actually, because I only know what it's like to trip my balls off, basically. Like, and that,
yeah, there's definitely levels to the shit, and you have gone to level 10. You don't really know what level 2 feels like.
Right, exactly. So like, and there's times where I was like, I don't want to feel like this anymore. And that's like an hour in, and I got like 12 hours left. I'm like, I don't want to do it anymore. And so then I can't process, my brain can't process. I'm like, all right, well, I mean, what does microdosing do? So I don't know that I'm sold completely on it, but I do agree that we should be taking a look at other ways, to help people, that need it. I mean, it's more than just anxiety, right? I mean, what do you think?
I mean, I think that I'm sold on at least giving it a shot. I think it depends on your reasoning for wanting to try it. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of people who believe that it can help you tap into this like unknown, like, 10th degree potential that you have, right? And this like brainwave frequency that you just don't normally operate on. Yeah, I mean, if that's a possibility, I damn sure I would love to try it and see what that is like. I always like to think of myself as somebody who's very thoughtful, in the essence of, like, I always try to think things through and process them from an analytical and an intellectual standpoint. And so if I could further that, if I could go deeper or experience something in a different way that could help me see things differently, that's an extraordinary concept to me. And like, I'm definitely willing to try it. The problem for me is that I also only had friends who were interested in the 10th degree tripping your balls off,
Right.
like you were talking about. And when I was younger, that shit terrified me, because then like you always heard the stories of like people who just did that and then like they changed and like were never the same. And I was just always terrified of that shit. And so, but now that I'm older, I'm like, well, I've already gone through a lot of fucked up shit. So it's going to take a lot to scar me now. And so I'm like, I guess I'm not scared of that. I just kind of want to see what it have to offer. And then doing it at the micro level, it's like, well, with everything that I do, gaming wise and design wise, and so much of that coming from a creative place, what would that do for me? What could it unlock for me if I was to try that during those things? So maybe there will be a second chapter of this story where we can come back and we can report our learnings, our findings.
First of all, I don't even like what you're suggesting.
Science. I'm suggesting that we are scientists, Jake. You said it earlier. You stayed at the Holiday Inn. That was step 1. Step 2, microdosing.
I mean, but the thing is, so like, there's a couple people out there, like Pete. You're right, man. There's lots of people that are addicted to alcohol and can die from what. I mean, there's so many bad things, right, that happen with alcohol, especially, accidents and deaths and that sort of thing. So like, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like these, like, some guy's smoking a joint and he's getting high. Like, I'm not saying that I condone it, but I'm like, this guy's not going out and murdering anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's gonna eat a bag of Cheetos and probably fall asleep with like 5 or 6 of them on his chest. Like, that's. I mean, I'm not saying that it can't happen, but I'm just saying the realization is that it's probably not going to happen. So like in that. I mean, now I feel like that's way better than being drunk on alcohol, I would suppose. Well, I'm not saying like kids don't do drugs. I'm just saying like if later on in life, if you have to, like obviously
if you have to,
if you like, I'm just saying like over 25, probably you're in control of your own life. So if you want to try it for scientific purposes, then sure, I guess why not? But I mean, I'm well over 25, so I feel like.
All right, so I'm gonna throw a curveball to the chat real quick. Is there anybody in the chat that can describe or give us any more information that we feel like we might be missing here? You want to share some fun experiences you've had, and then we'll give you guys some time to type it in there. And if anybody hits us with anything good, we can circle back to it. But I don't know, man. I'm definitely I'd be down to try microdosing, and I'd also be down to try the tripping my balls off. It's just all about the right place at the right time. I'd want to feel like I was already in a good mental frame of mind.
Oh, like, so you haven't tripped yet?
No,
you haven't
tripped. Not
once. Oh, wow. So
nope.
Man, that's so strange, man. Because like I know, you know what I mean. You don't know. Like, I don't even know how to explain it to you. It's wild. And I had a bad one time. I will say that. So.
Well, and it's the bad trips that have always scared me. Pete, definitely, I'm talking psychedelics here. I have never tripped on psychedelics.
The things that make you high, right? This is what we're talking about. Psychedelics, acid or LSD. This is like in my day. This is what we took. We took acid on like little sheets of paper or little gel caps. That's what we took. And then, of course, DMT, which is like the most powerful, I think, of all of them, is what they're saying. And then the shrooms that we've been talking about. And, of course, peyote. Have you ever had peyote before?
No. This is a new one for me.
So, I'm going into too much, I think, here, but my point is there are people that, obviously that still do, like, they smoke peyote. And like you were saying earlier, like, people were saying that there is this, like, another just dimension that you can get to for answers. I mean, when I was young, so I don't think that ever happened to me. Like, I never got to that point. And one time I just was really freaked out. But so I don't know what that's like. Maybe that's something that you have to do as an adult. But yeah. I think you'd be shocked. I think you'd be shocked to know some of older adults, like more well-known people, that use or have used psychedelics.
Really?
Yeah, I think personally, especially now knowing that you've never tripped balls, I think you're gonna have a hard time picking them out.
The most acquainted that I am with that whole thing is if any of you guys have seen the YouTube video drinking out of cups. And oh my God, Jake, have you ever seen this video, drinking out of cups?
I don't think so.
It's definitely something that you're gonna have to watch. It's gonna be fucking amazing, and you'll probably be able to identify with it. We got a couple of good things dropping here in the chat we can circle back to in a second. But who is it that you think I'm gonna be surprised by? What do you got in mind here?
Well, look, so earlier today I set up some celebrities. Now, you may not know all of them, and there's a good possibility that I can't remember their names either. But I think you'd be shocked if there's people in here that you did know. I feel like I'm giving it away, so let's just take a look at it, okay? And then when you see the picture, you tell me whether you think they have or they haven't.
Oh, okay. I like this.
Does that make sense? Like, you just say there's no way they have, or yes, 100% they definitely have.
What's the prize? What am I going to win?
I don't know. I mean,
oh man, you did all this and didn't think of a prize? Chat, what do you think my prize should be? What should be the winning prize?
Then we got to keep track of it, though, right? Then I guess somebody's got to keep track of how many wrong answers you get.
All right. Well, look, I got 2 hands to count all the ones I'm going to get right, and we don't need anything to track the ones I'm getting wrong. So let's go.
Wow. Oh, this is so bad. This is going to be great. All right, let's take a look at it. I think they're going to go through fast, so you're going to have to make a decision pretty quick.
Oh, no, it's pretty good. Definitely has.
Yes, he has. I can't remember his name. He's from Kids of the Hall. Okay, what about this guy?
Doesn't look like he would.
He definitely has. That was MacGruber. You remember the movie MacGruber?
I bet he did it wearing a red lumberjack shirt.
All right, this is ASAP Rocky. He's an artist and a rapper.
I'd say he hasn't microdosed. He's just full doses.
He definitely
has.
Ben Stiller does. One time he tripped. And he
just
said it was
once. I would have thought it was all the time. I definitely would have thought it was all the time.
Princess Leia.
I would have to say absolutely. Those movies are freaking insane. They're all you have to be able to believe in that world. He definitely has.
David Cross. That's David Cross. He definitely has. Princess Leia multiple times. Now this is Dietrich.
Funniest dude ever. Yes, he absolutely has. Whose line is it anyway? Bring back Drew Carey Show, please. Put it on Netflix.
He's got a new show called Housewives, and he definitely has. This is Lewis Black.
He's definitely.
Definitely he has.
He definitely has.
He definitely has. Now this is a girl, I can't remember her name, but she was from Orange is the New Black. It was a big show that came out.
Microdose, yes or no? She says yes.
Just in general.
Oh, yes. This guy has to. He's the funniest fucker ever.
Yeah, he's from Parks and Rec, right?
Yes.
I don't remember his real name, but he definitely has. This guy is from one of my favorite TV shows. It's called Black Monday that's on right now, and he was also on The League, which was about fantasy football.
I didn't even give you a yes or no. There was a great description of him, though. This guy, yes. He looks a little uptight. He needs to unwind.
He definitely has. And then
I have no idea.
Of course, you don't know
I'm going to go.
She was in White Man
I'm going to go with
Chum.
yes.
This is Rosie Perez. Sarah Silverman.
All day, every day.
It's probably a lot. Yeah, she definitely does. Sting. This is a tough one.
I say yes. Look at his outfit.
Yeah, he actually went into the woods and did peyote. So
oh, see, there we go. That's what the outfit told me, that he was that type of spiritual creature where he would go explore in that facet. The outfit told me all that. He's hot and cold at the same time. You got to be on drugs to feel like that.
There's a show that you need to watch on Netflix right now. It's really funny if you, because of this subject that they were talking about, but it's called I think it's called Have a Good Trip. and it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Actually, it just came out. It's called Have a Good Trip, and it's about psychedelics, and it talks about some of the people that were just in these photos and some of their stories. But Sting's stories are crazy because he has done it so many times. Oh, Sting's an OG. You know what I mean? Like, no, I mean, I appreciate you cut me off. It sounded like I was like making a plug for Money Heist. They should send me a check or something for that.
So there's a couple things here. Is that I was under the impression that the show was not in English, that you had to read the subtitles. I just remember reading subtitles really quickly. Like, I started to watch it and I was in bed and I was kind of tired, but I was just energized enough to still be willing to start a new show. And once I realized it was subtitled, like, nah, I ain't got that kind of energy. I got like lazier energy than that.
No, it's not. It's not subtitles. It's not subtitles.
So that's the distinction that I need to make there, is that there are shows with voiceovers, and those just weird me out. I'm so distracted by the out of sync that I can't get sucked into the show because I'm
telling you, it's so good. It's so good that you can't tell. For an entire season, I couldn't tell. Now, I'm not saying that, I mean, it's a little lengthy, but I got so into the story and so into everything that was going on. Like, it didn't cross my mind. So what I'm saying is now that Netflix is huge, they've gotten better at it. So if I'm saying like, hola, ¿cómo estás? And then there's somebody in the background saying, hi, how are you? And like, it doesn't match up exactly, but it's pretty close. And then when you're listening to the voice, you're like thinking to yourself, like, this sounds just like, if I met this guy on the street, this is exactly how he would sound. Which is difficult because he's speaking Spanish in the real movie. You got to watch it though. It's so good.
I mean,
it's so
I'm down
good
to give it a shot.
Everybody has been watching it. And I mean, I'm curious.
Down to give it a shot.
But see, I feel like it's not. I feel like now you're gonna automatically just go right for the mouth when you start watching.
Well, no, I've already watched it and stopped watching it though. So like, this doesn't really actually change anything for me. Like, I've already been exposed to it. It's just, I don't know, man. I do so many things where I'm constantly syncing, like with all the edits and stuff that I do. Like, I'm just always matching the music up with what I'm seeing visually. Like, the audio and the video always have to be in sync for me. And so it's like, because I edit shit, when I see stuff like that, it stands out to me so much. It's hard for me to move past it to actually see the content.
I feel like
I can't decide if it's really, really that good, or if you're just trying to sell me that it's that good to make it less absurd that you watched an entire fucking season and didn't realize that it was in another language.
Oh God! Please make it stop.
I kinda feel like you're just trying to cover your tracks, man. Like, I kind of feel like that's what's happening right now.
Like, just look, I'm telling you, like, I do feel kind of bad about it, but I'm just, because it sounds like you're saying, it sounds like you're giving us a hard no, is what it sounds like to me. It sounds like you're giving us a hard no, that you're definitely not going to go back now that I've sold this. Like, and they made so much money that they should actually be paying me now, because I'm going to get one other person to watch this already incredible show, and you're missing out. I mean, frankly, if you can't get past it, you're just missing out. But it feels like a hard no, and I just feel like you need to open yourself up a little bit. You know what I mean?
All right. Well, okay. I'll
just open your heart. You know, open your heart. I mean, don't be so, don't be so closed in. Open your, suck. Yeah, exactly. Just open it in, man. Just try it.
I'm letting the heist in my heart right now, man.
Oh my God, it's not even actually. It's not even what it's really called.
It's called Money Heist, isn't it?
It is on Netflix, but the Spanish name is something different, like something pop.
Oh,
something,
is it really?
Yeah, something papel or something totally different in Spanish. So that's what it just roughly translated to, I guess, in La Casa
de Papel.
Yeah, papel. So that La Casa de lapel means house of paper, like house of cards, like that's what it means in Spanish. You know, so I don't know how that translates to money heist.
Really?
But, I mean, yeah, that's how they got there. I took 4 years.
perfect.
I took 4 years of Spanish. I don't know. I'm honest. I'm terribly at it right now, actually, but that's what that means.
Terribly at it.
I'm terribly. I am absolutely terribly. That's what all I have to say right there. Terribly.
Cheers to you too, my friend.
All right, what else are we going to talk about? What else on this whole tangent of money heist? You have to check out the costume, though. If you don't do anything else, Google money heist costume, and because I'm definitely getting the mask, that's happening. And then I think I'm going to get a painter's smock for Halloween. And that's how I'm going to answer the door. Like
I think this would be perfect.
Have you looked it up yet? I'm just interested
Which
to
one?
see if you looked up the money heist costume. Is that what you're doing over there?
Oh no, I was actually looking up the officially released video footage.
So, like, basically, this whole conversation of money heist, you just weren't even listening.
No, I absolutely was listening.
I know what you're looking. You're looking. You're
costume.
you're
You want to be over here chilling in a fucking face mask with a cigar and bags of money in the background, and you want me to be as hyped about that life as you are, and I get it. I get it.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm fucking doing it. And I'm gonna even go in the gun cabinet, and I'm gonna pull out the guns too. I'm gonna go all the way with it.
Dude, if
For
you're
episode
not sitting
2.
there with like a mask, a shotgun, and a cigar in the next episode, I don't feel like we could continue on with this podcast.
I feel like we need
feel
to
like it's a necessity.
we need to find out if that's like against the law for us to do. Like, I don't know if I can broadcast with a real gun.
Yeah, you might have to have like one of those orange shotguns or something.
Oh my god, man! I'm gonna get the mask.
I think you don't have the gun. I think you just do the mask, a bag of money, and a cigar, and you got to be holding it with the hand you got that big pinky ring on with.
Okay, so you care nothing about money heist. I understand that now. So would you?
No, I do, but I haven't watched it yet, so I'm not attached to it like you are.
I don't think I can get a cigar in the mask. I'll try, but I'm definitely.
No, you just hold the cigar in your hand.
Oh yeah, I'll do that. I'm definitely getting the mask though for sure. But you're trying to load up the footage of the UFOs. That's what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god, are you gonna? Is there somehow we're gonna be able to watch this? Are you gonna show this? Are you gonna show this because? For 35 minutes, that's what I've been.
I can make it pop up where my face is. I can make this video pop up.
Oh, that would be great. So then we can all see that the government footage of the UFOs that you're supposedly saying that they have said since it leaked that they have no idea what this is. That's what you said earlier, right? And remember, you can't say the body of the people because you've already said it twice. So you can't say it again, otherwise we get shut down. But
I'm gonna call them the fucking G unit, bro.
The G unit. So you're saying that after they got leaked, G unit was like, we don't know what this is. Like we've never seen this. We don't, and they're like, and the guy's like,
no. It's not. They're not trying to say that they don't know what the footage is. They're saying that they don't know what's on the footage. Like they are agreeing that they're clueless and don't know what the hell it is.
That they don't know what they're looking at. But people said that. But people said in Area 51 that they had aliens, and I don't know if I believe that. Did you believe that? They have aliens and UFOs already there. Is that something that you believed in?
I mean, I kind of am inclined to believe it, to be honest with you.
Is it because you saw this video? Did the video when you watched the video, did it sway you in the direction to feel like, okay, maybe the government has? Oh my God, I said it. That's 3 times. We're done.
Oh no! All right, Chad. If we go down, it's official.
G Unit. So you're saying like G Unit definitely has aliens and other life forms locked up somewhere, right?
I'm convinced of it.
But after
All right,
you watch,
look,
after you watch the video. All right, this is the video here. Tell us what we're looking at.
I know just as much about what we're looking at as what you do and what the rest of the world knows. And there's no sound to this video. But this is an item that is flying in the sky. And it is on film and it is unidentified and it's flying.
I mean, I feel
So
like
it's a UFO.
I feel like we could make this though. We could make this video.
But that's what I'm saying is that this video is officially released by the G Unit. So this isn't some video that some random dude sent into the government and said, hey, this is some weird shit. You should check it out.
Right.
This is footage that our military captured and has had in possession for a long, long time. And like the item is moving so fast that it's struggling to keep up with it.
So, but the government came out and said, like, we don't know what's on the video. And this is from when? The 60s? I can't see the date on there. What's it say? 60 something?
No. This is spotted in 2004 and 2015.
Oh, wow. So that means that they are looking for this information. G Unit.
100%.
I just don't know if I can get. I just have a hard time believing that, man. Like, I mean, so that looks pretty substantial. I'm looking at it now. But like, isn't that as fast as like a plane moves? Yeah, I guess it looks like a UFO. But I mean, although I just feel like this could be doctored, though. Don't you?
I mean, it definitely could, based on the quality. It absolutely could be. But why would the government? The way that it
definitely looks like a UFO.
The way that it's
right there.
maneuvering and rotating, like it moves and rotates, and like you have to watch it and be able to hear the commentary and everything behind it, because whenever you're hearing the people, like the pilots who are flying and this is being captured and they're trying to follow this whatever it is that they can see, that's whenever things are just getting absurdly out of control. I need to go back and change it back to my webcam here. Bada boom. So like whenever you can actually hear them reacting to what they're seeing, I feel like that helps sell it so much more as well, because they're able to describe like the factors of, they give you context and give you a little bit more perspective behind what you're seeing.
So like, but before that came, like before you watched that, like, was your take always that you felt like there was definitely like aliens and UFOs out there? Did you feel that way prior to seeing the video?
I short answer, yes.
Okay.
To define it just a little bit, I would have to say that, do I believe in like aliens in like the traditional sense of like what you would see in like a Hollywood movie or something?
Right.
No, like that's not really anything that I think is real. But I do think that it is kind of absurd to believe that the universe is as big as we all believe it to be, and that we are the only life form on this one planet. Like that to me is ludicrous,
Right.
because you're believing in it's contradicting beliefs. Like how could you believe the universe could be infinite but yet believe that we are the only living species? Like there's other shit out there. Do I think it's flying saucers and fucking people with long arms and big heads? I don't know about that part, but I do think if it hasn't already existed, that it will exist, a society that develops to the points where they can travel through the universe, and one day we come in contact with them. I don't know.
We could be hanging out with aliens, is what you're saying.
100%. I think if there is a species out there that is so advanced that it can travel the universe and exist in that type of environment, that it is probably also smart enough to realize that we will self-destruct if they just leave us alone. Like literally, if you observe us for a decade, you see that our species is likely to just repeat itself. Like they could have been watching us forever ago, and they could have watched the Egyptians and the Mayans and all those early civilizations and see how we just continuously self-destruct because of our human tendencies, and just be like, nah, we're good. They're not a threat to us.
It sounds like a James Cameron movie. Like I feel like I've seen this movie.
You might have.
I feel
maybe you will soon. Who knows?
Oh, it's so weird, man. Oh no. Oh, Wilkie is on. Who let him on?
Hey, Wilkie.
don't even start talking about the universe at all, and then have Sean Wilkie on. Like,
I feel like that he has to absolutely be a guest on the show one time, man. We just have to hash this out, because you know what else we have to talk about, bro? Is who the fuck can believe in flat Earth?
I don't want to go there,
bro. I'm just okay.
If you
want to try to sail right past that one, we can, but
I don't
want to sail too far because we might fall off the end of the world.
I mean, there's actual real people out there called the Flat Earth Society.
Yes, dude. Have you seen there's documentaries on Netflix, and it is the funnest thing in the world to me to go and watch these documentaries and see people believe with every ounce of energy that the crazy things that they are describing and saying that they believe, and you get to watch them pour their heart and soul into that belief of this crazy outlandish thing. And on one of these documentaries, the whole documentary is a build up to a test where they're going to test their theory, where what they're going to do is they're going to go extremely far apart from each other, and they're going to try to line something up and see prove that it'll prove that the Earth is flat. Because if the Earth was round, the items wouldn't line up. You wouldn't be able to see them anymore. There is like some laser beam that they were using, like a super powerful laser beam. And
did you just say laser beam?
Laser, like zoom, laser. So what am I trying to think? Like what you fuck with cats with?
Yeah,
laser.
You believe that they're going to use a laser to show that the Earth is flat.
Dude, I swear, this is what they believe. They believe
that's
what they
believe.
They went and they found two areas. If I might fuck the details of this up because it's been a long time since I've seen it. It's been at least 6 months, but they measured two spots out that had the same sea level or some shit like that. Like they were able to tell that it was the exact same height. And then they measured up so many feet up in the air, and then they shined a laser straight over this really long patch of distance, and they had this like another board that was like 20 feet up in the air or something, and it should hit 20 feet and 20 feet on both boards if everything is flat.
Really?
But what was happening was that the laser was like shining high because the curve would have the laser shining above the 20 feet, because 20 feet, if course, everything is round.
Yeah.
And so the whole documentary, they're talking about all the reasons they believe in this crazy shit, and then it builds up to this test at the end that proves the entire society wrong, and it's on Netflix.
Wow, that's great.
It is hilarious. It's hilarious. You have to go watch it. It's the funniest thing you'll ever see.
I mean, first of all, I think Wilkie is half joking sometimes, but it's like can't even. Thank God for a quarantine. Because like every time I'm around him and he's around somebody else that like even remotely thinks the Earth is flat, like he's gone, dude. I've lost him, and I can't even pull him back in, and I just can't even listen to the conversations. And God forbid if we go somewhere where it's like him and Max Eberly and frickin' and CJ Wiley. One time I'm on Facebook. You probably don't know who CJ Wiley is. You should. He's like one of the best pool players. All right, so he's like he was one of the best around, right? I'm like in a Facebook conversation with him one day, like, and he's I don't know what I put up, but maybe I put up a flat Earth joke or something, and he like comments on there, and I'm like, hey man, how you doing? Like, I haven't talked to you in a while, and then he just continues to go on, like there was like 30 comments later. Like he didn't even acknowledge. I'm like, hey man, what's up, man? How you been? He was just like pushing his agenda. It was the craziest, like thread conversation on one of my posts I've ever seen. And Wilkie believes it. He believes that I like he talks about it, but I honestly do believe he thinks the Earth is flat. Like I think he's gone. We've lost him, basically.
So I need to know, is Wilkie a flat earther, or Wilkie just entertains the conversation?
He 100% is. He gets some knowledge because he thinks that these people that are giving him documents that show the Earth is flat, that's what he believes. Jesus, I just...
You're about to get Jake Jacked. Rant in 3, 2, 1.
First of all, I can't even begin to explain how stupid this is. The Earth is not flat. Like 100% is not flat. And like we went to the moon. Like just stop with all of this shit, man. It's a globe. Fuck, it's a globe. It's not flat. Just stop and get over it. I'm not talking to anybody specific. Don't get me wrong here. That's not what this is about. I'm not pointing fingers. I'm just saying in general, I'm sick of it, man. Just get over it. Like, I don't even want to hear the conversation anymore about if somebody wants to try to prove it to me. Like,
Well, I think it's a very interesting point of view to have, because if you believe in flat Earth, don't you like automatically by default have to believe that us going to the moon was fake and that it never happened, and that every ounce of video footage or photos from NASA is completely fake? Like you're believing that NASA is one of the world's greatest conspiracies if you believe in flat Earth. Like, that's where I start to get just astronomically lost and how that dot gets connected.
They pump in millions and millions of dollars for people to work there just to keep up appearances, basically.
Yeah, definitely.
Millions and billions of dollars just so that they can fool everybody into thinking, look, we don't really need these people. They don't even know what space is. Like, we're just trying to mess around. Like, none of that's real. Like, does that make sense to you? Let's pump in billions.
I feel like it's touchy. I feel like this whole thing gets kind of touchy because it's almost like then you start getting into like these weird places where it kind of starts to turn into a conversation about like religion and what you believe in and things like that, because it starts to, if somebody believes in flat Earth and you're having that conversation and you're trying to be open-minded and you're willing to go back and forth with somebody, like you were willing to listen to somebody who just places the belief in what a fact is in a different place than you do. Like, to me, a fact is something that can be scientifically proven, and to a lot of other people, facts are just what you believe to be true. And so it's like you start to go down that rabbit hole of your belief system and why you believe what you believe. And it's some weird shit, because if you believe in flat Earth, you by default believe in so many other very harshly different opinions than my worldviews. Yeah, it's crazy. It's just a crazy place to think about, man. I don't know why I went so deep right there, but it just happens, so deal with it.
I just don't believe it. The Earth is round. That's where I stand on it. I mean, I feel like it's not even, I think it's like a moot point. Like, how do we continue to even like have an intelligent conversation about it? Like, it's just, that's how I feel. And look, there's lots of people that I know I'm friendly with that feel this way. That doesn't mean that I don't like you, you know, because I do. I just think you're crazy. That's it. I think you're crazy.
I don't subscribe to that mentality of the flat Earth.
I mean, we can still be friends, is what I'm saying, because I like crazy, you know. I mean, you know, my first 5 girlfriends prove that, but like it's cool. Like, we can still be friends. You know what I mean? What about the moon, though?
I think the moon landing is 100% real.
Okay.
I think that. Yeah. I think the moon landing is real. I think that people's conspiracy theories on it are interesting. What I think is most likely, when I think about like the things that we know to be true about our government, is that what most likely happened is we actually did go to the moon, but our G unit does what they're really, really good at, which is over publicizing or over exaggerating things. And you got to remember, not remember. Well, maybe you remember. You're a little bit older than I am.
I mean, why? I don't even know why you had to laugh when you said it.
I don't know. It was just funny to me.
I could feel it coming. Like you were starting to hone in the laugh before you said you're an old fucker. That's what was happening. You were just about to say you feel like because you're half my age almost.
Shit.
Like
What was I
that's
saying?
funny.
Shit.
You're talking about the
Oh
moon.
man. Oh yeah. So like our government, like we were such in a position of still trying to prove to the world that like USA is like don't fuck with us because we're the best and we conquer anything and we're better than you are in our country. Like we just don't do that the same way that we used to back in those years. And so it wouldn't be surprising to me
those
if there was some shit.
years.
Those years.
Which years are you referring to?
you know, Jake, you remember the years we're talking about, right?
Holy shit.
And
Sorry, go ahead.
I wouldn't be surprised if they enhanced some things. But that doesn't mean that I think that the moon landing would be fake. I think that we absolutely were there. And I think the reason we didn't go back was because there hasn't been any type of threat to our manhood from another country about it.
I mean, we have tried to go back a couple times. There's been some disasters with it, but you know.
Well, I guess the reason what I mean is why we haven't continued to try and push past what you're talking about. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
But like,
people,
then you have Elon Musk, who's doing crazy, amazing things.
Like he thinks he's going to build a spaceship to take us all to the moon and live, or something like that. I mean, it's.
His whole thing is creating a society on Mars. Like he believes in it with every ounce of his entire soul, and he's already mastered reusable rockets, which everybody said was impossible, and he did it in less than a decade. So it's like, bro, like what really will he be able to accomplish in this lifetime?
He's definitely
and this is
like
where
one of
like
great minds, yeah, for sure.
Like, you know that show that we were watching, Altered Carbon, where their conscious gets put in stacks and you can put them in different sleeves and shit?
Oh yeah.
People like Elon Musk make me believe that shit like that could eventually become a reality, or some form of extending mankind's lifespan to like the 10th degree, like that. Some crazy shit.
Like I don't even know how to like even respond to that, because I feel like there's no fucking way that shit is ever gonna happen. Like, you think that you're gonna download your consciousness into a stack, and then you're gonna put yourself into different. They're gonna put you in random sleeves, which are your body. You think like that could happen?
I think that there will be a way for you to artificially extend your life. I don't necessarily believe that stacks and the script of Altered Carbon could be a reality, but I absolutely believe that we will figure out a way to artificially extend our life. Whether it's in our original body or there is a version of us that continues to live on through AI, I don't know. There will be some way that people figure out how to do this, because what they talk about on Altered Carbon would be exactly what happens. Whoever figures out how to do it first would then start to take control of all the power. And you talk about having global fucking power, you literally control everything if you can figure out how to live forever.
Like, I thought we were like in similar places, you know, like you thought the moon landing was real and I did too. And then as Wilkie said,
I am open-minded to it, right? Because here's the thing: is we can never know what would be discovered. I can understand how it can be very difficult to see dots getting connected, but cell phones didn't even used to be a thing, and now they are. Like, now it's just it's so critically built into who we are and how we operate on a day-to-day level that if you took cell phones away from us, we would probably just all die. Like, I don't even know what would happen. Everybody would just go loony. But I don't think it would be that crazy to believe that we're already doing things where you can be artificially enhanced. You can get your arm cut off. Boom. All I have is a little nub. You have an elbow with no forearm, no wrist, no hand, no fingers. And they are figuring out ways to reattach an arm back onto somebody and give them motorized function with the hand.
Yeah.
obvious things are still clunky right now by comparison to what a normal, fully functioning human hand is. I'm not trying to make any type of extreme exclaims there, but what I am saying is, do you think that 10 years ago that was even a feasible thing, that we would be able to put fake arms onto a person? Like, you're putting essentially technology into a human and making them one. So if we can continue to go down that path, they're already talking about being able to put things inside of your brain to be able to have forms of enhancements, whether it's better memory or being able to even just simple shit. Like, what if there was a chip that you can put in your head that you could install languages, and you would just know a language, boom, because you downloaded it. No different than you push an update to your phone. There could be a knowledge bank that you could tap into. Like, imagine it being like a folder on your desktop where you could save information to. What if there's a chip you put in your brain and you can just save information to it that can be accessed? Even if you had to use your phone to access it, even if you could literally like activate it with your phone somehow, and then what you would see in that folder would just be on your phone, but you could do it with your head. That's still a massive step, and I don't think that's that far out there.
I mean, I just, how do you believe that the Earth is round, and then you believe this cockamamie shit that you're telling me right now? I just don't.
It's not cockamamie shit though. It's real.
But look,
like, they're already doing these things.
But like, okay, so you
it's
said
already happening.
So you said like 10 years ago. Could you imagine? So that would put you in your teens, right? And then, so for me though, 10 years ago was right around when RoboCop came out. So like, I was like, this definitely can happen. Like, as a kid, I was like 100% like RoboCop can happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I get it, but I just don't know, like, as an adult, I think like anything like that's gonna happen. It's just so weird, man. Sean says
I just think it's not about what I'm choosing. It's not about what I'm choosing to believe. It's not about the position that you take. It's about how far you believe the boundaries can go. Because all that I'm saying is that I hold a position where, do I think that those things are real right now? No. Like, the things I described, they're absolutely working on. Like, they're already existing. They just don't work flawlessly where it can just be done across mankind. But I just believe that the unknown is so much bigger than we believe it to be, which is the same stance that I take on the aliens. When you asked me earlier if I believed in aliens, I think that it would be crazy to assume that we know what's out there whenever we can't even travel it. We've never been there. We can't go there yet.
But we're
going to try to exclaim that we know what's there.
So like, you believe in like an ET, right? Like an extraterrestrial. Like, you believe?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
Wow. So kids, honestly, this is, I don't even know, like, I don't know, man. It's got me in a weird place right now with you. You know what I mean? You believe in ET. No. You believe in getting your head.
See, and this is what's really fun though. And you would never have known all these things with just a normal conversation with me. But like, I'll let my mind wander off into these places. Like, hey, I'm not gonna say something can't and won't happen.
I'm sorry.
Until it doesn't.
I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. There's a funny comment. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't even hear anything that you did. I just laughing.
Wilkie said in the comment, he said, "I wish Sasquatch would show up in the damn forest already. I'm out there all the time." So not only does he believe the Earth is flat, that's why he's pulled over on the road so many times. He's looking for Bigfoot still. Oh my God, it's so funny. I'm so sorry.
I feel it. Man, Wilkie, you're just living life by the edge right there, man. You're just like
way on the edge. Way on. He's looking for dude. He's out. He's looking for a Bigfoot, man. He's out looking for Bigfoot right now.
Jordan Pierce wants to know if we play songs. It's not something we have planned right now. It's something that we might be able to work into the next one.
What kind of song do you want to hear?
Attached robot armor leg stands to reason that not in our lifetime that our brain could operate an entire body. Mapping out neurons will take a long time. Thank you, Candy. See, somebody out there can at least entertain the possibility of what I'm saying. Because you got to remember, I'm not saying that that's the beliefs that I have. I'm saying that I don't have enough information. None of us do to be able to exclaim that it could never happen. Because 100 years ago, the society that we live in right now would have never been able to happen. But yet here it is.
Yeah, but they thought that we were going to be further along than we are. You know, like back then they thought we were going to be like the Jetsons, that we were going to be riding around in flying cars and, you know, we'd be pulling up into your house at 30,000 feet in the sky. So we're not anywhere close to that.
But that doesn't mean that the boundary of how far we could go changes. Just because of how long it could take us to get there, it doesn't mean that the destination doesn't exist.
I don't know, man. I just don't know how I feel about about that. But it seems like if you watch something, then you get more involved in it. You know, like especially with the UFO video. So I'm telling you definitely now to watch Money Heist. And then if you watch it, you'll get more.
I'm definitely gonna watch it.
You'll get more into it. And that was brought to you by Money Heist. Thank you.
Well, I kind of feel like Money Heist was just destined to be mentioned, considering that your name is J Stacks. Like
Right.
you can't not talk about money if your name be J Stacks. So Money Heist was perfect. I still okay. We can find some commonality, some common ground on this part. Agree to disagree, whatever the hell we want to try to frame it as, because I don't care how crazy what you think that I had described about like where mankind could possibly go and what could happen between the fusion of technology and AI and mankind and our natural bodies. You watched an entire fucking season of a show and didn't realize it wasn't in English. You didn't realize it was voiced over. Like what? How like you must have been watching it like whenever you were falling asleep every night and not really watching the show. Like I don't know what else to say here.
Well,
but,
you know, most guys, I'll tell you, this is a fact. Most guys watch TV just by listening to it. Like my wife will sometimes like come in the room and she'll try to change the channel, and I'll be like, "What are you doing?" And she'd be like, "You're not even watching it." And I said, "Yes, I am. I'm listening to it." Like that's how I watch almost all of TV. So there's no.
What you're saying is you watch it by not paying attention. Is really what you said. Which is
because
how
I
you
can
watch
hear
an entire season of a show and not realize.
Right. That's
like,
what I mean.
Who does that? Oh my God! No wonder you can't let your mind wander into these things, because you don't let yourself get absorbed into it. You're half in and you're half out. You're one hand on the remote, one hand on the phone. Man, you're disgracing these amazing directors and the content. You better go back and rewatch that shit.
I just feel like if you hadn't already known that you may get a couple episodes in before you realize. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just saying.
I would
you
just like
to
point out that the amazing Tim Tanana says that he agrees 100% with me, and that there is definitely other form of life out there in the universe.
But Tim doesn't know what he's talking about. You can't listen to that. I 100%
Talking about
agree.
man. Tim brings the meats, baby. He knows everything about fucking shit.
Oh my God.
He knows it all.
There's no way we're the only ones. I mean,
there's just not. I just what
Tim,
I
he's
feel like
he's supposed to come to my house on Sunday. Like this is serious. Like we're in a serious place right now. Like I feel like I have to have a phone call with him like near Friday.
I'm gonna start
or
calling you the
Saturday.
non-believer. J Stacks the non-believer.
I'm gonna have to call him and be like, "Look, dude, like not for nothing, I was reading your comments in the stream, and I'm feeling like maybe Sunday's not a great day now."
Oh my goodness.
I just don't know, man. Jordan wants to know if you guys are near Area 51. No, I'm not near any. Nowhere near.
It would be fantastic.
Oh my God, Ed Ladawi is on. My buddy Ed Ladawi from New Jersey. And when we were talking about Footface, he says, no, his name is Daryl. Have you seen the commercial? It's hilarious. Well, have you seen the beef jerky commercials?
Yeah.
Bigfoot in the woods.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, all these people are out here looking
for
Bigfoot. And he's like, excuse me, my name's Daryl. Like, Bigfoot's got a name, man. You know what I mean?
Wilkie says he's watching a show on Netflix called Dark. It's awesome, and it's about time travel, so that's possible too, LMAO.
What?
So So
Did you
if
just
you
say
believe in time travel, then
my
you have to
God.
believe in parallel universes, right? Or not?
This is-
parallel realities, parallel existences, or whatever the hell that's called.
like in the comics.
I think you have to. I think that's what I'm saying, man. Like once you agree with one of these threads that are coming off of all these outlandish ideas that just defy our normalcies of reality. Once you grab onto one of those threads, if you start to pull on it, bro, your entire life gets fucked up. Like you go through the craziest thought processes, and you have to be open to the wildest thoughts and ideas, and then you have to believe that every single one of these off the wall things is true. It's so
Like
crazy.
I feel like I'm getting beat up in the chat. There's like so many people in here that side with you and believe in all this crazy shit. Like I have
All right,
to
chat.
take.
If you identify with those
Yeah.
things that I have described,
They
then
do.
drop
They
a
all
D
do.
in the chat. And if you agree with the non-believer J Stacks over here, go ahead and throw me a J in the chat. Let's see if we can't get a little bit of interaction over here and see what's happening.
Yeah, but they gotta
Mega says,
believe in
preach
it.
it, drop deck.
That's what I mean. I'm just saying they gotta believe in it all, though, right? So can we just say like if you believe the Earth, but see, you're in the middle. You believe the Earth is round. You believe it went to the moon, but then you go like 1,000 miles the other way, and you're like, there's fucking aliens here on the planet. You know, like there's probably.
I never said there was aliens on
That's
the
just-
planet. Now,
that's what
do
you're
I think
saying.
I think if there was aliens on the planet, we wouldn't know it though. There's so much about our own planet that we don't even know about. That like even if they did exist, because here's the thing: nobody has defined universally how big or small an alien would need to be. When we say aliens, we automatically think of something that is big enough to threaten us physically. But it could just be a slug. What if aliens are fucking slugs? Like, I'm not saying I believe that, but it could be, and we just wouldn't know it.
Like a giant
Just saying.
slug. A giant slug, you're saying. Like, are you?
Yeah, like a beluga whale slug.
When you play this back and you have to listen to this, you're really gonna feel differently about the stuff that you're saying.
I think you're gonna feel differently about it
No.
when I download this episode 1 podcast of the greatest fucking podcast that's ever existed or going to exist in mankind. When I re-download this to your brain chip and you relive this moment when you're 1,000 years old,
Wow.
then we can talk about who's fucking crazy. Okay?
I just don't get it, man. I feel like
It's
I feel
okay.
like-
you don't have to. You don't have to. See,
I feel like I'm gonna
I
have
don't
to.
need the microdose.
I'm gonna have to microdose because apparently I don't believe in these things. I don't know what it is. I just don't get there. But and the fact that some of these guys that I'm, like Tim. I mean, Tim believes that there's aliens, and I just don't. He makes me question. Like I love him. He's a great guy. He's one of my good friends. But man, now I have to question almost everything that he says. You know what I mean? Like everything that he says, I have to question now. If he's like,
How do you explain the pyramids where the alien markings are everywhere? Drawings of aliens everywhere, Tim Tanana says.
I feel like he's watching Aliens on History Channel. I feel like that's what he's doing. And like that's there's a show on History, Aliens or whatever, and it's like it's been debunked like everywhere. Like I don't even know what alien markings he's talking about. You know what I mean? Like I watched this show.
Tim, are you referring to like the hieroglyphics and all this stuff that's there, like where they draw them and everything? Because I mean, like the common
when they
things
made
that
them?
people go to for aliens. Go ahead.
I'm just saying,
The
like
common things that people go to is like the pyramids or Stonehenge and like those big, massive landmarks, and then people say how could they possibly have been built by humans? And to me, that's not good enough. Because it's like you can't. I'm not gonna look at that and say, oh, just because I don't understand a technology that could have existed from an era that I can't fucking prove because it's too long ago. Just because I don't know how they did it doesn't mean that it couldn't have happened. And that's my whole philosophy on how I base what I do, what I believe, and what I don't believe is like I'm not gonna believe that something is off limits just because it's out of my understanding. I'll believe it's off limits once it's proven to be. And maybe that's why I allow myself to go down some crazy shit and just I don't refute it until science does.
Yeah, well, I mean
That's why Tim doesn't care what he says.
Yeah, I mean, this is like he's been booted. He's in Facebook jail like at least once every 3 weeks. So like this is the only place he can really like say whatever he wants to say.
So he's
probably get away with it.
Pressure valve.
Yeah,
Pressure release valve.
He's just going off. He's like, there's aliens everywhere. You know what I mean? Stonehenge, they put it there. I mean, he's gonna go wild here. I don't think so, man. Like I don't believe it. I don't believe in aliens. Like maybe not in the traditional sense. I don't know that if I have a hard time believing that there's other people
So
out
take
there,
the word alien,
you know?
take the word alien and replace it with life form. Do you believe that we're the only form of life is on planet Earth, or do you believe that life exists on other planets?
I don't. That's such a tough question. Like I'm very much like I have a hard time believing that there's other stuff out there. I just really do.
What makes you lean towards that?
I don't know, man. Like I just like my mind just won't allow to just conceptualize that there's somebody else. Like if okay, so then let's say you believe in God, right? Like I never like talking about religion, you know. It's always a bad subject. But let's just say you believe in God, and then so you believe that God created this earth, right? So then you also would have to believe that He created other life forms on other planets. So like there's another, you know, like somebody's on Saturn right now, you know, going to freaking Walgreens or something. You know what I mean? Like that's what you're like. Your space. I can't wrap my head around that.
That's where I feel like it starts to get lost for you, is because you imagine one that it could be in a place like Saturn. Like I don't believe that other life forms exist in the 9 planets that are in our solar system. I believe that other life forms exist off of the planet Earth, and the universe is infinitely large and forever expanding, is what most people would agree on. And that is where I'm like, I don't believe that there is that another society exists on another planet that would even mimic what we have here on Earth.
Right.
I just simply believe that life itself exists somewhere else out there in the universe. Whether it's animals, whether it's humans, whether it's aliens, like what people like Hollywood aliens, or just life form like bacteria. Like I believe that life is out there somewhere.
I mean, God bless you. I mean, that's all I can say. Is God bless you. I mean, I don't.
Ed Ladawi says ancient civilizations that evolved in earthly technology with the understanding of mental capabilities beyond 10% we use. They are what we call aliens checking up on children's. Huh. Their ancestors shaking.
The ancestors are shaking their heads. Yeah, I don't know, man.
So Candy brings up an interesting point. She says, with the thought that if there's water, there's likely microscopic organisms that exist on other planets.
Okay.
And so that suggests that life cannot exist without water. And we exclaim that as humans that live on a planet where the only things that can live require some form of water. But what if life on a different planet didn't require water? What if it required something else? I don't know, man. I think it's a very interesting topic that you can go very deep in, and then it starts to get really muddy because normally it's just normal people having the conversation, not scientists. So it's not like I can whip out my Factopedia and fucking hit you with some shit. It's just, it starts to turn into beliefs. And then whenever you disagree with somebody's belief system in the essence of not necessarily what they believe, but once you question why people believe what they believe, it makes it hard to believe anything that they believe.
Exactly.
Like if I thought, yeah, see? Well, I know.
I don't believe anything you're saying right now is basically what's happening. I can't. Tim's going to call me tomorrow and he's going to be like, I'm having lunch with my daughter. I'll be like, no, you're not. No, you're not. Stop with the lies.
Megan wants to know what the beach day in California is all about. We talked about that a little bit earlier, man, but everybody's just out there getting down on the beaches, man.
Well, they got fed up.
Extra factoids?
They got fed. I mean, basically the story was they got fed up with it. And then so everybody decided collectively, like they were gonna go out on the beach, even though the laws that were in place that said, look, everybody's got to stay home. They're like, fuck it.
Yeah.
We're going out, and there was like, hey, we're gonna do our thing, and nobody stop them, and they're all on the beach like together, like, you know, there's no 6 feet distancing, none of that. Like they just went crazy, and so I'm just thinking to myself, like, they're just now talking about going to phase 1, like we're not even there yet, and people are just like, fuck it, I'm gonna go out, I'm not gonna wear a mask, I'm not gonna listen to what anybody's saying, and I'm like, that's not how this is going to get fixed. Like, just stay home. Like, we're not, listen to what they're saying, because there's a lot of people that think it's conspiracy. Look, I don't think that at all. Like, this is the real deal, man. Like, whether it's a government conspiracy that it was released on us, you know, because of something that I don't know. But what I will say is that it's definitely the real deal. It's here. You know, and so we need to make sure that we're following these, you know, what they're telling us to do. So, fuck, man, don't 10,000 people go hang out on the beach. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's I agree with that. I mean, I feel like whether or not we'll ever know the truth about the how and the why, I doubt we will ever actually know the truth about how or why. I think I start to lean more in towards the conspiracy side of not specifically Corona, but the conspiracy side of that whenever an epidemic comes out, like it's normally government driven. I don't know, man. Right. I feel like it's definitely a ploy to be able to control people by the masses, and it's one that they are very good at, and it's one that they have a track record of doing every single time it's pushed on election times. But it's literally every year almost. Like, if you go back and you actually look the shit up, I mean, like, literally for 20 years straight, there's always been, this is the next thing that's going to kill us. And it's a fear-driven it's a fear-driven marketing plan to keep control over people and keep influence over the people. And I think that the majority of America makes their decisions and what they believe in and their knowledge of what's actually happening in the world from the news that they watch. And the news just shapes people's worldviews so much. It just blows my mind that that's the way that it is. But
yeah, I mean, we're definitely not getting all the information. That's for sure. You know what I mean? Like, there's no chance of that happening. So there's a lot of stuff that's
I agree.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I'm definitely 100% with you on that. You should not even open.
I don't know, but people definitely need to be staying safe out there and taking the proper measures. I mean, just because it can be overhyped because of the government doesn't mean that it's doesn't actually have the significance that they claim that it does, that everybody says, all the scientists and everybody in the health industry says. So, like Candy says, the virus is real. She actually works in the medical industry, so she would definitely be an opinion that I would lean on.
I mean, yeah, big thanks to them, because everybody, especially that's in that industry, I mean, there's no way we'd be able to do it without them, because they've had to be out there since the very beginning. So kudos to everybody who's been there doing that.
But Candy brings up a good point that it's scary to think about how easily the country is brought to its knees, and I agree with that. And I would expand on, like, really globally, like, the entire world has been shut down by this and impacted to some degree. And so the conspiracy that I read through that I would identify with the most, not saying that I do believe in it, but if I had to pick one, would be that this was some sort of plan from a global leader standpoint on how global power was going to be realigned between the economic decisions that happen that are that are between different countries. It's like so much of the world's global economics are interrelated to agreements between different nations and different countries. And I feel like if this is a big ploy, it is much bigger than the U.S. government. It is much bigger than Trump being president or whoever else would be elected next. And if it is a conspiracy, it is a conspiracy at the global level, not the United States level.
Well, Megan says in the chat, she said, do you think the government believes that we are too stupid to govern ourselves about the safety measures? I mean, obviously, what I just said proves that we are actually too stupid to govern ourselves. I mean, people don't. They're leaving because they're bored. You know what I mean? Like, if it was a zombie apocalypse out there, and they're like, if you go outside, you're definitely 100% gonna get your face eaten off, right? Like us as Americans, at like 72 days, 72 days, we're like, I'm bored.
I got that football helmet. I bet that'll help me out.
Like, I'm gonna go outside. Like, there's a chance it may happen, but I might not get my face just totally eaten off. So, like, as Americans, of course, man, there's no way that we can govern ourselves, because there's always, like, the age-old saying, like, there's a few people that ruin it for the masses, and so I believe that. So yeah, and the government definitely thinks we're too stupid, because honestly, they're right.
100%. They know we are.
You know?
Yeah. Wholeheartedly, I agree with this.
All right, well, let's take a quick break from one of our sponsors, and then we'll be right back. Or not. Well, I guess we're not doing that. Good job, Josh.
I don't know what you're referring to.
Yeah, obviously that's not going to work. So
those of you who are still hanging out with us here, what would be some things that you would like to see on the next episode? If there's any specific topics that you'd be interested to hear us go through and discuss, share our points of view, and involve you guys in, will there be anything specific you guys would like to see on upcoming episodes? Me and Jake are obviously going to be coming up with the next few subject points, but I'm always down to get you guys involved.
I might just let you talk about anything crazy, just to see, where we'll go.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. Like, my wife would tell you that could lead you to some crazy places. Like, she jokes with me all the time because I talk out this shit with her frequently, and it's just funny because I just see how far I can rationalize my way to something. Like, I will allow myself to believe something, but completely stray away from what I believe in and just explore a completely different thought process. And I will follow that thought thread until I can no longer rationalize it. Just like you said, like, it gets to a point to where, like, you just can't fathom that. So that's where you stop believing. And so I just allow myself to explore. And it's like, the more I've done that over, I guess, years now, the crazier these thoughts have become, because you start to reevaluate things you once believed in that are just no longer true, because we've learned new information or discovered something else that didn't exist before. And so, like, my position on what I believe could happen and could accomplish is always forever changing, because there's just new shit keeps happening in the world. So
I feel like I'm gonna have to microdose just so I can even just so I can consider some of these things. You know what I mean? All right, guys. Well, I think that's man. We've been going for a little over an hour. Man, it's probably been an hour and a half. So
I was gonna say, yeah, it's been a while.
So I guess we're gonna wrap this show up, and then yeah, we'll come up with episode 2. It'll be like I don't know, maybe like another week or two. We'll come up with some good shit to talk about. Right? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it'd be fantastic. It's been a great fun first episode, man. Everybody's engagement has been awesome. Talk aliens. Jake believes ghosts. Hey, maybe we can talk about ghosts on the next one, because we talked about aliens this time.
Let's talk about ghosts, because I got some good stories about ghosts. We can definitely do that.
Hey, I'm down with it. I've got some stories that'll be fun with that too. So I'm down. Thank you, Emma. Thank you. Contributor. We have our first great contribution from our new community. All right, we got our nice YBW community. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us. It's been a fun first ride. Hope everything was pretty good on the show. If you guys have any suggestions, definitely let us know. We're definitely open-minded to things. It's going to be fun to see this thing grow over time and become what it's going to become, because it's just what we do, Jake. If we touch it, it's fucking great, right? That's what we do.
All right, guys, man. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time.
You've been listening to You've Been Warned with Jake and Josh. Make sure to tune in next time, or don't.